Like and subscribe as we get stuck into this one. SmackDown kicks off with Kevin Owens coming out looking dapper in that tie, by the way, to do guest commentary for the night. Corey Graves is absent because him and his wife Carmella welcomed a baby boy into the world this week. Congratulations to the happy couple. The LWO make their way out for an in-ring promo. Rey is of course coming off the back of losing the US title to Logan Paul at Crown Jewel. Rey says Logan stole his title and can't beat him without using brass knuckles. He gets interrupted by Carlito, who blames Santos Escobar for Rey's loss after Santos left the brass knuckles on the apron, a completely valid point by Carlito. Santos storms off and Rey chases after him to patch things up as Carlito goes one-on-one with Bobby Lashley. Are we in a time machine to SmackDown 05 with Lashley, Carlito and Rey Mysterio? Cole is still on commentary, for crying out loud. It kicks off at ringside. Montez grabs Carlito's leg and brawls with Del Toro and Wilde. Dawkins pounces one and throws T'other over the barricade. I love the word T'other, by the way. Santos Escobar runs down to brawl with Dawkins, which allows Montez to kick Carlito into a spear by Lashley as the Almighty wins. After the match, the Profits beat down Carlito. Escobar stands on the apron and watches, but doesn't help. Rey Mysterio comes down with a chair and chases off the Profits and Lashley. Only then does Escobar get in the ring as Rey has a go at Santos for not helping sooner and checks on Carlito. Santos blasts Rey in the back, but he looks apologetic for it. He gets Rey to his feet and Rey drops him with some strikes. Rey then looks apologetic, so he checks on Santos, who drives him into the ring post and smashes Rey's knee between the steps. An emotional Zelina Vega gets between the two men as the LWO check on Rey and Santos leaves, pleading his innocence. Backstage, Santos is asked by Kathy Kelly why he attacked Rey, and Santos says that Rey had it coming and leaves the arena. Bayley is here for an in-ring promo. She says she had no idea KAIRI SANE was going to show up at Crown Jewel and calls Io Sky out to the ring. Io obliges and is joined by Dakota Kai and KAIRI SANE. Io said she wanted to take the lead with her own plan and brought KAIRI in to help her retain. Bayley points out that the last time KAIRI was in WWE, Bayley took her out and shows video of that. Dakota says that KAIRI was brought in to make Damage Control stronger and to take the weight off of Bayley. KAIRI says she respects Bayley as the leader of Damage Control and forgives her. She motions for a hug from Bayley, but in a nice touch, Bayley says she doesn't do that anymore, but the group share a hug which brings a smile out of Bayley. They get interrupted by Bianca Belair, who says she doesn't forgive Damage Control. Bianca wants to fight them all, but it appears she is outnumbered. Out comes Chsrlotte Flair, still pretending to be a babyface, and Asuka, who appears to be upset her former partner joined Damage Control. Asuka takes the mic and speaks Japanese. I assume she said your ass is grass and I'm going to smoke it, but I'm not fluent in Japanese. The trios will meet in a 6-woman tag team match later on tonight. LA Knight is here for action, but first he takes to the mic and addresses the WWE faithful. Knight looked rough. I don't know if he was still adjusting his sleep schedule from coming back from Saudi Arabia, or whether he was just emotional that even after a huge loss the fans were still behind him, but he didn't look great. Knight says he did exactly what he said he'd do. He took Roman to the limit, dropped him on his head with a BFT, and had him laid out for the pin, if not for Jimmy Uso. Knight says he's not going to the back of the line, and he's not finished with the bloodline. He gets interrupted by Grayson Waller, who says Knight just needs to be honest and admit he's not the guy and he wasn't good enough. Knight calls Grayson Kangaroo Jackass in a great line. Knight then says the Grayson Waller effect sounds like an STD, and he reminds Grayson he got dropped by a Saudi celebrity at Crown Jewel. Knight then makes fun of Waller's $5 haircut, saying he looks like he's ready for school picture day, but Knight gets the feeling Grayson can't go within 50 yards of a school. This is what we need on WWE TV. More allegations of paedophilia. It's been missing for some time now. I agree with LA Knight. Check Waller's hard drive. Waller tries to hit Knight, but LA rattles him with a microphone and pours water on him at ringside, embarrassing the Aussie ahead of their match. KO is loving it on comms. A signature elbow and a BFT is enough to get Knight the win. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory push Kevin Owens. Remember, Nick Aldis said if Kevin attacks anyone while on commentary duty, he will be suspended. They dump water on his head and throw their bottle at Michael Cole and Kevin Patrick. KO apologises to the commentary team but says he has to go get suspended and runs after the heels. He brawls down the ramp with Theory and goes for a stunner, but Theory gets out of there. Instead, it's Waller who takes the stunner as KO stands tall to end the segment. Backstage, Jimmy Uso challenges LA Knight to a match next week and signs off with a yeet. He gets a call from Roman Reigns, who presumably tells him not to say yeet, as Jimmy says no yeet and mean mugs the camera. We do get confirmation the match will happen next week on SmackDown. Main event time, Damage Control comprising of Bayley, Io Sky and KAIRI SANE take on Asuka, Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. Bianca tries to tag in Asuka, but Asuka pulls her hand away. Bianca is stunned and ends up getting misted by Asuka as the Empress reunites with KAIRI and Io, with Bayley once again getting involved in the group hug. Charlotte comes in but gets swarmed by the group and it ends in a DQ. SHOTZI runs down to try and help, but she takes a rose plant as Io nails the over the moonsault to Charlotte. KAIRI hits the insane elbow to Bianca as the show ends with Damage Control standing tall. Gang warfare? I think there's only one way to solve this. I think we know what the Women's War Games match will be.